Alrighty. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me. We are streaming um, doing a fast CMA by request. Minimal instruction, just a quick step-by-step watch here. Submit, make sure it's working, watch. Alright, so we are good. So we are going to do a CMA for tax Ada County. We're doing a CMA for 697 Eagle Woods Lane. So I'm going to put 697 in minimum and maximum. And in the property street name, I'm just going to type in the first few letters, and that brings up the one result. Click on search, and this is the tax record for the subject property. So we'll just bring this up. Whoops. We'll bring this up over here. Kind of get these side by side a little bit for a minute. And then down here, I have the market summary template open. And we're going to plug in this address. So 697 East Eagle Woods Lane. Bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. So bedrooms 5, bathrooms 3.5, 5, 3.5. Square footage is right there, 2927 square feet. 2927 square feet. Acres is 0.22 acres, 0.22. And the year built is 2009. 2009. Listing date, asking price, closing date, sold price, all these things are NA, so we'll put NA in all those blanks because we don't know any of that information yet. I also have open here the CMA search sequence. Remember that all these documents are available at the Resources tab here at the top center, the CMA section here, top center column. So we have the CMA search sequence here. First thing we're searching for is 7 to 10 solds. So we need to plug in our starting criteria. Beds, baths, square footage, levels, age, area, and history. So let's start with beds, baths, and square footage. Beds, baths, and square footage. So we'll go back to Paragon here. We'll do a search for, or no, excuse me, we're going to do a search for status sold, because again we're looking for our solds first, and then beds, baths, and square footage. So our subject property was 5, 3.5, 2927. So we're going to do beds 5 min to 5 max, 3.5 baths min to 3.5 baths max. It was 2927 square feet, so we'll do 2827 to 3027. That's plus or minus 100 square feet on both sides. 5, 3.5, 2927. Okay, just checking there, that's right. Beds, baths, square footage. Then we have levels, age, and area. So this is a 2-story home. And the age is 2009. So for levels, we'll put in 2-story. And for age, year built here, 2009, let's call that 2004 to 2014. So 2009 minus 5 is 2004. 2009 plus 5 is 2014. So we have plus or minus 5. That feels about right for this property. Then we have area. We know the subject property is in Eagle, so we will do area 900 for Eagle. And then history, we're looking for 3 months of history. So we're looking for properties that have a closing date. Click the begin calendar here. And we're going to go back 3 months in time. 1, 2, 3. Click on today's date, 3 months ago. And perfect. So we have our initial criteria entered, and we see there are 0 comparable sales. So now we need to begin following the search sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to follow that sequence. So let's start with number 1, the square footage. So we're going to loosen that by going down another 100 square feet and up another 100 square feet. There's still 0, so we move on to our next item, which is 4 months in time. Click on the calendar, go back 1 more month, click on today's date, 1 month ago. Cool, now we have 1, but 1 is less than the 7 to 10 that we're shooting for, so we must move on. Now we go to number 3. Number 3 is to either add or subtract a half a bath, but stay with the same number of physical rooms. This home has 4 rooms in it that have a toilet, so we're going to go up a half a bath. If you want a better explanation on that, how that rule works, be sure to watch the full-length video, which was done on November the 9th. So November 9th CMA training covers all of this in detail. Back to Paragon and the CMA search sequence. Alright, so we just added a half a bath, which is the appropriate thing to do. We have 2. 2 is less than 7 to 10, so we must continue. We go on to number 4, that's 300 square feet. Go 26 up to 32. Still only 2, that's less than 7 to 10, so we must continue. Go back 5 months in time. 1 more month, today's date 5 months ago. We have 3 now, still less than 7 to 10, so we move on to number 6. This is bathrooms again. This time we're going to go in the opposite direction that we did before, so we're going to go down to 3 baths. Still only 3, so we move on again to number 7, 400 square feet. So we're going to go down to 25 and up to 33. Only 3 still. Move to number 8, which is 8 months in time. Click on the calendar. Excuse me, number 8, which is 6 months in time. Go back to 6 months. Still only 3. Now we go to number 9. And number 9 is to loosen the bedrooms. 3 gets loosened to 4. 4 gets loosened to 3. 5 gets loosened to 4. So our subject property is 5, so we loosen it to 4. When that happens, we go from 3 up to 10. So that is the number of, that matches the target of 7 to 10 solds. So we can stop. If when we did that, it went to, let's say, 12, so if we loosened it to 4 bedrooms and the count went to 12, that would have been more than we were looking for. So in that instance, we would have peeled back a couple of the previous layers until we got it back down to 7 to 10. But this is 10, so we can stick with that. This is Eagle. I actually want to check one thing here. In Eagle, there's a risk of that being larger lots. So I just did a test here to make sure that none of these results were on 5 acres or 10 acres, because our subject property is not. So great. So there's 10. I'm going to click on search. Click on search, do export, export to CSV, and then click export. Paragon wants to create a file. I'm going to call it spreadsheet 1A, and we'll hit save, and it will actually open that file for me. I'm going to left click, hold, and drag to highlight the selection. Control C to copy. Going to go to my market summary template. Down here I'm going to click on the data worksheet, my staging area. I still have some stuff left over from when I was working on this before, so I'll get rid of that. And I'm just going to, oops, lost my copy. So I'm going to copy and paste. And I can minimize this file. Come back to Paragon, open up any one of these properties, go print, print plus, and I'm going to print out not the full detail, but I'm going to print out the MLS client detail, and I'll print all the listings, and I'll hit print, and I print them all out. That way I have them for my CMA. So I've exported my data, and I've printed my listings. So I'm going to go now back into the CMA search sequence, and I'll see that next I'm looking for X pendings. So that's right, what I need to do is I need to go into Paragon, back to the search, and I'm going to search or change from sold listings to pending listings. And when I do, there are 0. And when that happens, it's fine. It's the reason it says X is because you want to stick with however many there are. If there's 0, there's 0. If there's 3, there's 3. If there's 5, there's 5. Even if there's 0, it tells a story. So we're going to go to having no pending listings. We just move right on and we go into actives. So, and I guess briefly I'll tell you that the process of identifying the solds is we start with narrow criteria, and then we incrementally loosen that criteria until the closest 7 to 10 comparable sales are revealed. Now, when we find those 7 to 10 solds, we simply go back into Paragon and we switch our status from sold to pending, and however many there are is how many we use. And if there's 0, like there is in this particular instance, we're not going to adjust the criteria to force ourselves to find some pendings. No, we're going to use 0. In fact, what we're going to do is in the market summary template, we're going to, in the pending section here, we're going to type in currently no pending sales. And the reason this has value is because it does what the pending section is designed to do, which is provide us with visibility into market direction. So if there's 8 recent sales and there's 5 pending, so there's 8 sales in the past 5 months and there's 5 pending right now, and the market's getting stronger, right? It's like, wow, it took 5 months to sell 8 and there's 5 in escrow right now. That's a market direction that's getting stronger. If there is 10 that have sold in the past 6 months and there's none that are in escrow now, then that's a sign of a market cooling off, which is what we'd expect, but right here between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? So that's how you handle no pending listings, and you do it that way on purpose because it enables you to visualize market direction. And it only works because we used the same criteria to identify our solds as we did our pendings. So we're going to move right along to actives. With actives, we're only looking at price range and geography. So I'm going to get rid of everything here except the MLS area. And again, you can see that right here. We're looking at for 10 to 15 actives, and we're only looking for price range and geography. So I'm going to go, we know the geography, that's area 900. I'm going to go to the market summary here where I have copied my sold comps, and I have sold price per square foot right here. So I'm going to run an average on it. I'm going to do equals average open parenthesis. Then I'm going to left click, drag, and release to highlight the items that I want to average, and then I'm going to press enter. This is the average sold price per square foot of the comparable recent sales. We know that our subject property is 2927 square feet. So I'll just type that here, 2927 square feet. And then put my cursor here, type in equals, then left click once on the first part of my equation, then do the multiple sign, which is shift 8, which is a star. Then I'm going to left click on the second thing that I want to put in my equation, and then I'm going to press enter. So the subject property has a estimated mid-market value of about $450,000. So now that I know that information, it's worth about $450,000. I'll come back into Paragon. I'm going to do a search now for status active. In the same MLS area, it's $450,000, so our competition is going to be like $425,000 to $475,000, somewhere in that territory. And I only want real competition. So what that means is I'm going to go into age, not because I want to filter out by age. I just want to only have properties that actually exist. I don't want to include anything to be built or under construction. I don't really consider that my competition. Those properties don't really exist yet. And you can see there was a lot of that. There was a lot of to-be-built stuff. So this is now less than 10 to 15. So I'm going to expand my square footage here a little bit. We'll go 4 to 5. All right, 19, that's good. I'm going to hit search. With the actives, so remember the solds are a very objective process. Identifying the solds is an objective process. We start with narrow criteria. We incrementally loosen that criteria until the closest 7 to 10 comparable sales are revealed. With actives, that's a subjective process. What you want to do is you want to filter through these listings and identify the ones that you feel reflect the subject property's strongest competition. Contingent sale, I'm going to get rid of that one. So essentially you're going through, you're looking at does that house look cute? Is the price per square foot good? And if it meets those two standards, if you think that it's, oh, hey, yeah, that's definitely a good looking property, and oh, hey, it's priced well, then you select it. If it doesn't look good, or if the price per square foot is too high, then you would not select it. So I'm just going to continue to go through. That looks good, priced reasonably well. So I'll save you checking them all here. I'm just going to pretend that we're checking these as we go, and we're checking the ones that look good and have a decent price per square foot, and we're not checking the ones that don't look good or don't have a good price per square foot. So when we're done with that, we've checked the ones that we want to include because we feel that they reflect our competition, the subject properties competition, and when we're done, we click checked right up here. When we click checked, see right now it says 15 of 19, we'll click checked, and it goes down to 1 of 12, perfect. Now we're going to export again. So we're going to do export, export to CSV, export. We'll call this 1C. There was no 1B because we had no pendings. Going to left click, drag, and release, and then Control C to copy. Go back to our market summary spreadsheet. Go to our staging area. I'm going to scroll back over here to the left. If I try and paste when I'm not scrolled over to the right spot, Excel gives me an error. But if I scroll all the way over to column A, where I'm supposed to be, and then I paste, it pastes in just fine, error-free. I know from my CMA worksheet here that it goes sold price, asking price per square foot, days on market, and over here it goes asking price, it goes sold price, days on market. Sold price, days on market. There's a column missing between these two. So I'm going to put my cursor anywhere in the days on market column, and I'm going to do Alt, holding down the Alt key, pressing I, pressing C. That inserts a column before, And now that I've done that, I can left click and hold from address over to days on market and down to the bottom listing to highlight this area. Copy, remembering that these are solds. Go back to the residential tab, go to the sold section, right click, paste special, values, OK. Go back to the staging area, the data worksheet, left click on the address, come over to days on market, Control C to copy, back to the staging area. These were actives, so I'm going to right click, paste special. Again, we're doing values. There's my data there. Now that I have the data here, I can get rid of my empty rows. I'm going to click, hold, and drag to highlight those rows. I'm going to press the Control key, click, hold, and drag, and then release to highlight those rows, releasing everything, the Control key and the mouse key. Then I'm going to press the Control key again, left click the mouse key, drag down, release Control, and release the mouse key. Now I have 3 areas selected. I can right click in any one of those highlighted areas and then left click on delete, and it gets rid of all those extra rows. Down here in the pending sales section, we don't have any of this criteria because there's no data. All of this information here, this div by 0, it's trying to do a calculation based upon the data that's up here, but there is no data. So all this information here, this text, we can just highlight it and hit delete, and it's gone. You can put NAs in here, so we're going to do that now. We need some NAs up here as well. So I'm going to copy, put my cursor here, Control C to copy. I know I need NAs in the closing date. I know I need NAs. I'm control clicking, Control, click, and drag to highlight that column as well. We don't have a closing date for active listings. We don't have a sold price for active listings. We don't have any of this data for pendings. So this is where we want all of our NAs to go. We have those 3 sections highlighted. Right click in any of them, paste special and values, and it will drop in NAs into all those sections. Lastly, we have to do some calculations here. So I'm going to put my cursor there, and I'm going to type equals. Then I'm going to click on the asking price. Then I'm going to hit slash, which is on the question mark key, and then I'm going to click on the square footage. And then I'm going to press enter. I'll do that one more time. I want this cell, I click on the cell, to equal, I press the equal sign, the asking price, I click on the asking price, divided by, I press the slash on the question mark, the square footage. I click on the square footage. With the equation being entered, I then press enter, and there it is. I can now copy that, left click, drag to highlight the area where I want to paste it, right click, paste special. This time I want to paste the formulas. Hit OK. It pastes the formula and it modifies it to be relative to the row that it's in. I can then do the same thing here for recent sales. Equals, not the sold price, excuse me. This is not the asking price. Up here we did the asking price divided by the square footage. Here we want to do equals the sold price divided by the square footage. Enter, copy the equation, highlight the places we want it to go, right click anywhere in the shaded area, paste special, formulas again, and then hit OK. And then that's it. You now have your CMA worksheet ready to go. One thing I did skip here is you want to make sure that you print the listings as you go along. So I missed the click there. Print plus, not full detail. We want MLS client detail, which is somewhere in here. Right there. MLS client detail. So we would print out all those listings, and we'd have those for our CMA as well. So you can see here that preparing the spreadsheet with the data took all of maybe 10 minutes. I had a little bit of explanation in there, but if you skip that, probably about 10 minutes, give or take. Once you're done, you do want to do some cleanup just to make sure that things like this get taken care of. You and I know that it came out capitalized from the Feather Nest drive. From the MLS, but the person that you give this CMA to may not know that. So they're going to wonder why you capitalized it. And same thing here with this Cardone, Cardon, Grove Creek. Usually there's zero or one. So it is interesting that this one had 3. Oh no, there's 4. Mind you, 4 of them. So Rivers End. Okay, and then the other thing I look for is consistency. So here we have avenue with a period, and here we have avenue without a period. Here we have drive spelled out, and here we have drive abbreviated. Again, it's not the end of the world to have it that way, but and again, you and I know that that's just the way it came out of the MLS. But the recipient of your CMA may not know that that's the case, and they're just going to look at you like you're just that you don't pay attention to detail. Sometimes you're abbreviating, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you have a period for your abbreviations, sometimes you don't. So I just like to normalize the data so at least it appears consistent and it doesn't give them any reason to be distracted. I also will always check the acreage section to make sure that there's no zeros. Oftentimes or sometimes agents will put a 0 in the acreage field because they're just lazy. If that ever happens, I'm going to look up that address in the tax record to find out what the acreage is, and I'm going to fix it. So a little bit of cleanup when you're done just to make sure everything looks good, and then there you go. So I hope that helps. I know I went through it relatively quickly, but that was the point of this particular stream, is just to take you guys through the mouse clicks and to show you how quickly one of these can be done. Again, I hope that helps, and if you need anything, you know who to call. I'm always happy to help. All right, thanks guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye.